So I'm at the age where I can remember the shipyards and stuff. From driving past them with the big giant ships and the lights on an evening, it always looked like something out of well, at the time I thought it was like something out of a sci-fi film, so probably has an impact when you see things like that when you're a kid. I'm an 80s kid, and probably Steven Spielberg's influence, I think, just being like, I'm just obsessed with like night scenes, the lighting and stuff. Self-taught. I did do illustration at Sunderland College, but they didn't really teach us anything. It wasn't really for me. I think I spent more time in the pub than I did actually doing anything. Full-time, probably about the last 17 years, 18 years, something like that. I was in a band when I left college. It was just a 90s indie band. New Rising were called. And we had a record deal and everything. But just went a bit pear-shaped, as most of them sort of bands did in the 90s. And then I ended up delivering washing machines and TVs and stuff. It was my wife that suggested, why don't you do something with your art? Because I still used to sketch and stuff. So I used to do Armstrong Bridge, and that's where it started. Really, I just like done that part-time. I had like a part-time job. People started paying attention, and I ended up getting in a few galleries and had some really good exhibitions with the Biscuit Factory and stuff, which meant I could like take it up full time then. My grandfather and my mother were quite artistic. My grandfather used to do paintings of all the ships I used to sail on. He was in the Merchant Navy, and then you'd put like funny comments about the skipper or something like that. He used to do like little watercolour sketches, which I used to love looking through when I was a kid. He died when I was quite young. I think I was only about 6 or 7. So I think it was a way of me. I think that's probably got something to do with the fact, even though he wasn't alive, I still loved reading over them again and again. That's why I was connected in that way, because I understood how powerful that could be for it to have that connection. I'd seen it advertised, the parade, on the news that they were going to do. There was a bit of a debate. I think they weren't going to do it at first, and then they decided to do it. I just thought it would be a really good way of trying to capture the moment, doing a painting of it. But it's mainly about the supporters and the crowds, because it was mainly a celebration of the city. So I wasn't really bothered about catching the actual players and stuff. It was mainly about going past all the crowds. I knew it would be busy, but I didn't think it would be as crazy as what it was. Because I had a great view looking up Percy Street, and I could just gradually see it getting more and more full. And by then I could just barely see the road from where I was. But it was excellent atmosphere. I know I like just try and represent what's in front of us, but I would like it to have a bit of a soul and a bit purpose about it. I think that's the battle, really, trying to find that just in like everyday subjects, like normal people just walk past or aren't interested in. Just to try and capture that. Make people realise what's on every corner, really. Just normal everyday life. Plein air painting and getting out of the studio was definitely improves you, because obviously you have to become more loose and like focus on the things that's important, instead of in a studio. I suppose you could get bogged down in too much detail. You have to filter everything out. Even though I still get bogged down, I still bog myself down sometimes with detail, but it's definitely better doing this sort of thing. It becomes quite addictive, because I used to do studio paintings all the time before, but I don't know, painting outside, there's something, obviously it's much more challenging, and it does become more addictive, because there's something about trying to get things done, like today's challenge of the weather changing every 5 seconds. Plus it's better painting, I think, in fresh air, and it's a bit more healthy painting outside. The most excited I've been working on, probably just everything. As soon as there is certain things, like I really enjoyed doing the Granger market, just trying to capture the people and stuff. I just set up it was one of the doorways, because that's the thing with the Granger, you got to set up somewhere where you're not like in a line of fire. And I didn't realise it was a queue at first, but then obviously it was a really popular place and there was just people standing in the queue. And then there's like an old couple trying to get through the queue. I try to capture that. And just the lights of the place I'm drawn to, and the characters that you get in there. When you try to capture figures, it's a bit of a game, because everybody's like, some people are moving quick and you go, oh, I really like that character, but then they've gone. So you're basically doing like an amalgamation of different people, unless somebody's like moving really slow. Like, tend to be older people, like you can capture a bit quicker. But no, 99% of people are really good. They just take photographs and stuff, and you might get the odd one, but touch wood, there's nothing bad happened. Probably shouldn't have said that. I think it stops people in their tracks when they see somebody painting. They're not used to it, obviously, so they don't really know how to react. No, I just find it like a bit of a challenge to try and concentrate when people's asking you questions or looking over your shoulder. My favourite painting? I haven't really got one. I don't think I'm ever 100% happy with anything I do. But probably one of the ones maybe it's the Grey Street one, because it's just like trying to capture the people going to work and stuff like that, I think. And I was interested in doing the steps going down to the metro, because it was just an interesting subject. I think probably that one. But I could only do like 6 in the morning till like or 5 in the morning a couple of times. Because if you set up you couldn't have done that in the afternoon, because you get the buskers and stuff there, so you had to be conscious of that. They would probably argue that I take their spots, but because I got told off once actually next to the monument, but this guy says, like, are you going to be long? That's like my spot. It's like, but it was funny doing that one, because you're getting the commuters and stuff. It's the same people every day, so the same guy was having his cigarette on the left-hand side of the pit and on the same side of the steps. If I'm not happy with the painting, you just get stressed out, the same as anything. But I don't know, when it's going well, you just feel it's just a good positive thing. I always find it challenging. I don't think it's I don't know, it's hard to explain. I couldn't say it's relaxing, but lots of people say, oh, that looks dead relaxing. But then when you've got a group of people around you and they're taking photos and everybody's like all over the place, you cannot really say it's relaxing, but it is some sort of weird zone that you do get, or try to get in. That must be beneficial for you, I think. Because if you can like zone out when you're in the middle of Grey Street on a Saturday night and get something done on canvas, I think you can probably do that anyway. This is one of the stresses. People just parking in front of you. It's usually big vans that block your view and stuff. That one's not too bad. I've got a thing for cars, so I do try and put cars in as much as I can, but it's just the way they reflect the light and stuff that's really challenging to try and capture the way they reflect light. Well, it's just me city, so I suppose, but I think it's such a compact city, which is its benefit, I think, because you've got all these places within like a short distance, and you've got like the old architecture with the new iconic bridges and like gorgeous like Grey Street. It's like a gift, really, but it's also great for these little. I've been wanting to paint it for a while. It's just like the mixture. You've got the pub at the bottom and you've got the trees, and it's like an industrial sort of scene as well. Well, an old and an ex-industrial, but it's still I think it's quite a nice scene. Getting accepted for Landscape Artist of the Year was a bit of a shock, because I couldn't remember if I had applied for it or not. So it was a bit of a shock when they phoned up. It was a real honour actually to be selected out of, even though I'm not a big fan of competitions and stuff, because I think it's like subjective. It's still nice to get recognised for your work, no matter what you're doing, really. It's amazing stuff that you see just by standing in one spot for a length of time.